You're listening to Autumn on the Air, the weekly podcast that brings you conversations about the impact of research commercialization and the people who make it happen. Join us for interviews with patent and licensing professionals, innovators, entrepreneurs, and tech transfer leaders on the issues and trends that matter most. Keep listening for an inside track on the people, IP policies, and politics changing our world.
Welcome to Autumn on the Air. Today, we're excited to have joining us Dr. Valwynne Faulkner, a postdoctoral research fellow at the Francis Crick Institute and LifeArc Knowledge Transfer Innovations Fellow. Dr. Faulkner's work spans cutting-edge molecular biology research as well as technology transfer. Welcome to the podcast, Val.
Thanks, Lisa. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, we are really happy to have you on the podcast today. And I thought I would kick things off by asking you to tell us a little bit about your current research at the Francis Crick Institute. Tell us about how you're developing innovative molecular biology tools to study mycobacterium tuberculosis.
Yes, so my research at the Francis Crick Institute focuses on understanding gene-gene interactions, but also chemical gene interactions, because those are really important when we're developing new antibiotics. So mycobacterium tuberculosis is the bacteria that's responsible for causing the lung infection, TB, or tuberculosis as people know it. And I work in the systems chemical biology lab that's run by Dr. Eakin Johnson. And we're developing CRISPR-based molecular tools that we can use to precisely control and silence genes, so more than one gene at a time, so simultaneously. And that system basically helps us dissect the functional roles of genes in TB, because we really need to understand those in order to develop drugs. And we're looking at it particularly in response to antimicrobial compounds, so drugs. And it's really great because it's providing valuable insights into bacterial survival, but also drug resistance, which is a big deal at the moment.
Yeah, and I want to stick on that topic about drug resistance as well as bacterial survival. How do you see this research potentially impacting future treatments for tuberculosis?
So most people I talk to go, why do you still work on TB? We have drugs. There's no need. But TB still remains the world's deadliest infectious disease. It was knocked off from the top by COVID during the pandemic, but it's back up there. And drug resistance is the biggest growing concern. So multi-drug resistant TB or extensively drug resistant TB, which we can't cure. And our research basically is looking to systematically identify the essential genes and gene interactions. And we're hoping, or at least aiming to uncover new drug targets, which can inform better combination therapies and strategies. And those insights, we think, could help guide the development of next generation antimicrobial drugs so that we can improve treatment regimens and basically try to combat multi-drug resistant TB.
So in addition to all this amazing research you're doing, you're also a LifeArc Knowledge Transfer Innovations Fellow. Can you tell us a little bit about what this role entails and how it complements your scientific research?
Yes, it's been such an incredible opportunity to be part of this fellowship that's run by Angie Miller at LifeArc. So it's completely funded by LifeArc, but in partnership with AUTM and ASTP. And it's been designed to equip academic scientists, life sciences specifically, with the skills and the knowledge to gain insight and also transition into careers within tech transfer. We get formal training in all aspects. So basically invention evaluation, IP management, marketing, commercialization. So the whole landscape within the life sciences sector. And it's been really great because we all get to meet each other. We have fellows from all over Europe. I think almost 14 different countries have been involved so far. And the first time we met in Croatia for a training course, which was so much fun. And Angie actually works on making sure that not only are we learning and immersing ourselves in this landscape, but also meeting so many different people. So it's been absolutely awesome. And of course, we're here now as well.
Yes, we're at the annual meeting here in DC. And yeah, what an amazing experience to be able to come here. How did you find out about the program? Is it something well known within labs in Europe, or how did you learn about it?
So it was actually by chance. So I love what I do. I love my research, but I've also been looking to see what else is out there because I'm coming towards the end of my postdoc and thinking about where I can transition into next. And I think I spoke to someone working in venture building, and she'd mentioned LifeArc. And it happened to be that LifeArc was at the Francis Crick for a career event. And I ended up speaking to them and they mentioned this fellowship and I had a look and I was like, actually, this is perfect. And it's the best way to get into this and learn more about this sector that we as scientists don't really know much about.
And I think what's really amazing, you mentioned 14 total individuals in the program from all around Europe. It's a great way to network with other people in addition to being able to go to all these other conferences and network there as well.
Yes, it is.
Now, tell us a little bit about how your experience in both academia and industry has shaped your perspective on translating scientific discoveries into practical applications.
My diverse experiences across academia, industry, and regulatory labs has given me some sort of a holistic perspective on research translation, because all these bodies have different parts of the ecosystem that are quite important. So like academia fosters curiosity-driven research, and basic research is, well, basically the foundation to all of that. And industry then focuses on the application and the scalability. And working at NIBS, which is part of the Medical Health Research Agency in the UK, exposed me to those regulatory requirements, such as assay standardizations, how a vaccine's made. And I think together they've reinforced my belief that effective research translation requires that cross-sector collaboration.
That's amazing. We mentioned that we're recording this episode in Washington, D.C. at the AUTM 50th anniversary. And so obviously you're here. This is part of the fellowship, as you mentioned. How has this engagement through AUTM influenced your understanding of tech transfer and commercialization?
AUTM is quite a big partner with as part of this fellowship. And one of the highlights is that we have access to all the online learning tools, so the Online Learning Center. And we basically have all these courses and videos that have been catalogued over the years. And it's just so much knowledge at our fingertips. We've also been paired up with expert mentors by AUTM. And it means that we can connect with experienced professionals that are already working in this. I guess you can call them the tech transfer veterans. And it's been really great, especially being at the conference, because we all have our own mentors, but then we get introduced to other mentors and it kind of forms this massive network. And it's really, really great.
And totally different perspectives, right? Every time you have a mentor, I mean, that's been my experience whenever I've had mentors, the people with different experiences and different backgrounds. And so you're really getting a great benefit by being able to engage with so many different types of mentors, which is really amazing. So here at the AUTM 50th, what have been some of the key insights or experience that you've gained from the event?
The meeting itself has been eye-opening, and I didn't realize how many other stakeholders are working within this, tech transfer in general. Just yesterday, we had the valuation course, and going through the case studies just within our small groups alone, you realize that there's so many similarities, but also differences when you're working in tech transfer in the US or in the UK or the rest of Europe, for example. And we've met so many people, not just working in academia, but also working with governmental bodies, industries, charities, accounting firms, law firms. There's just so many people involved in this.
Yeah, the breadth and depth is pretty amazing in terms of the people who come to this meeting. And it's really a great opportunity to network, as you're finding out for sure. So how do you think events like AUTM's annual meeting help contribute to bridging the gap between scientific research and commercialization?
I think it's very crucial in facilitating knowledge exchange, as you mentioned, and networking, professional development, especially for us who, as fellows, are basically transitioning into this sector and we don't really know the full landscape itself. And it's provided a platform for us to basically meet tech transfer professionals, investors, industry leaders. And it's quite nice because these interactions help bridge gaps between scientific discovery, market application, and I guess they force that interdisciplinary connection that's needed.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a really, really good point, and one of really the great things about this annual meeting. Now, as you mentioned, you're someone who's new to tech transfer, kind of learned about LifeArc kind of by chance, as you mentioned. What are some of the challenges as well as opportunities that you see in translating academic research into real world impact?
From the academic standpoint, I'd say one of the key challenges is navigating the complex IP landscape, because we never really get any access to this and we don't really know how it works. I think before the fellowship, I had a broad overarching view of what it's like, but actually it's different. It's very different. And it's because we mostly never learn about this during our scientific training, and for most people, even all through their careers. Additionally, I think balancing academic openness and the need for us to and requirement to publish is one of the biggest gaps between getting researchers more involved in the tech transfer space, because as a researcher, that's the key. You need to publish, you need to get your work out there to get the next funding. But in the case of translating your research, that might not always be the best thing to do.
Now, looking ahead a little bit, if you could pull out, let's say, your imaginary crystal ball, what are some of the areas of scientific innovation, or maybe it's even technology transfer, that you're most excited about, and why?
This is probably a bit biased because I work in antimicrobial resistance. But I think advancements in antimicrobial drug discovery, it's one of those slightly neglected parts of research at the moment. But we find that AMR and antimicrobial resistance is a growing issue and a growing trend. And I'm hoping that with AI now and machine learning, we can leverage genetic editing technologies, so all these novel tools that we have to design better drugs. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, we definitely need better drugs, that's for sure. And like you said before, antimicrobial resistance is really an important problem that we need to overcome. Now, for early career researchers that might be interested in technology transfer, what advice would you give based on your experience so far?
I think seeking out opportunities. What I've learned so far is that everyone's really lovely, and you can actually just reach out to people and ask questions, but also apply for fellowships, like have a look and see what else is out there. If you're in the UK or in the EU, LifeArc as a plug, it's a great opportunity to develop a basic understanding of the whole tech transfer space. And I think also being more open to interdisciplinary collaborations. If you're working already in science, I think there's so many opportunities out there if you're open to stepping outside of your niche. And engaging with your TTOs within your universities and your institutions.
Now, finally, Val, as the podcast comes to a close, how do you envision the future of research commercialization, and what role do you hope to play in that future?
I believe that the future of research commercialization will be shaped by stronger academic and industry partnerships, having more innovative funding models as well to support researchers, which positively also impacts society. So not just doing work that is exciting, but work that's needed and necessary. In terms of myself, I'm still learning more about how I might fit into this sector. But I'm hoping, or at least I'd like the opportunity to be at the heart of kind of the growing research and innovation domain, but within a role where I can be part of working with meaningful discoveries from the laboratory bench, but also being part of that transition into market. And I'm still trying to figure out how I fit within that sphere.
That's okay. You have plenty of time to figure that out, right? Well, it was really great having you on the podcast, and congratulations on your journey so far. And we're really excited to have you here at the Autumn Annual Meeting, and best of luck as you continue your journey in your career.
Thank you so much. And thanks for having me on the podcast.
Thanks for listening to Autumn on the Air with Lisa Mueller. Get social with us and share your thoughts. You can tweet us at AUTM or visit us online at autm.net. We'll be back next week on the air. Be sure to join us.